Good morning and welcome. I'm Reverend John Riley. I'm the senior minister here at Unity Palo Alto Spiritual Center, and it's just a joy for me to be here with you today. We're so glad that you're here today. And if you are new to Unity, what we want you to know is that Unity is a worldwide, inclusive spiritual movement, welcoming people from all walks of life. People who are looking to have a deeper experience of spirit in their lives. People who are looking to express greater health, wholeness, or abundance in their lives. People are looking for spiritual growth, transformation, or to simply do life better. We teach positive, practical spiritual principles that you can apply in your life every day to help you live a more joyful and abundant life. Now, I'm so grateful. We're so blessed this morning because we have with us Rusty Gaylord as our platform leader and Deborah Winters as our soloist with Russell Norman on piano. And so we begin our service with our opening song. Deborah, take it away.
Thanks, John. Good morning, everyone. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. As I say a tender yes to the energy of love in me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. I am peace.
Good morning and welcome to Unity Palo Alto. My name is Rusty Gaylord and it is great to connect with you here this morning. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here and joining us for today's online service. We are part of a worldwide movement of prayer, publishing, and education, teaching positive and practical spiritual principles that you can apply every day in your life to live a more joyful and abundant life, or very simply, as Reverend John says, to do life better. Unity is a spiritual movement, and we are welcoming and inclusive. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. We have 5 core principles that guide us on our spiritual path and that are the foundation for this practice of living a better life. Our first principle is God is. There is only one power that is present and active in the universe and in our lives. It is God, the good, omnipotent. Our second principle is I am. That God is the substance and intelligence innate in every person and in all creation, including you and me and everyone. I am a part of that universal presence and power. Our third principle is that thoughts in mind produce after their kind. We have the ability to affect our world with our thinking. Our fourth principle is the practice of prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation connect us with the creative and constructive power of God to work in and through us. And finally, the fifth principle is the practical application Of course, as we live according to these truths daily, we become what we were created to be, which is living expressions of the image of God, which in unity we call the Christ. These 5 core principles guide us in living our vision statement, and I invite you to affirm our vision statement with me, all together. Centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. And so it is. There's a lot going on here at Unity, and we're a welcoming and vibrant community, and there's many opportunities to connect with each other for spiritual growth, for sacred service, and for celebration in our community. The first thing I want to let you know about is today, right after the service, is the financial update. You know that during the last year or so, during the pandemic especially, we've been doing regular financial updates. So join our treasurer, Daniel Franzen, who will be giving us an update on where we stand from a financial standpoint as a spiritual community. Also want you to know that there are a few changes to our schedule. There have been a couple of recurring things that we've adjusted the timing on. The first is Write Your Story. That has been rescheduled to next Sunday, the second Sunday of the month in February. That's Valentine's Day. So if you've been participating, mark that change on your calendar. Or if you haven't been participating, you're welcome to join. Also, the Midweek Uplift service. We've moved that from Wednesdays, it used to be Wednesdays, we moved it to Thursdays, and that's going to remain on Thursdays going forward. So also mark that. You're welcome to join us if you're looking for a pick-me-up to reconnect with the power and positive thinking of Unity midweek. Finally, the Unity Palo Alto annual meeting is coming up, and it is 2 weeks from now on Sunday, the 21st of February at 11 o'clock. And of course, it will be on Zoom. Everyone is invited. Whether you're an official member or you're not a member, if you're a guest, everyone is invited to the annual meeting. For those people who are members, they will be able to vote on the Board of Trustees to ratify the budget, and you will learn a lot about Unity and where we are going. So you can register at unitypaloalto.org/annual meeting. You can check out these and many other opportunities on our website, unitypaloalto.org. And of course, check out the social media channels. There are many ways to connect with us and share the good news that is Unity Palo Alto. Now it is one of my favorite times of the Sunday service, which is to greet one another. And there's many ways you can do that when we're in person. We used to do that, of course, with a handshake or a hug. We're not doing that these days. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, put something in the comments. Say hello, good morning, happy Sunday, welcome. You can greet each other there. And if you're not watching there, if you're not on social media, if you're watching live on the website, or for any other reason, you can just take a moment and send a wave of gratitude and greeting and love out to everyone who is part of this community live right here now with us. And if you're tuning in for the first time or you're back from a long absence, we'd love to hear from you. So fill out an online connection card, which you can do on our website at unitypaloalto.org/live. So happy Sunday. Now I'm going to pass it back over to Deborah for our call to worship song.
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? We can whisper love so loudly every heart would understand that love and only love can join the tribes of men. I would give my my heart's desires so that many just might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? And love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Beautiful. Thank you, Deborah. It is now time for the reading of our daily word. And the daily word for today is inner peace. I will read the affirmation and then invite you to say it with me. I express the peace of God. All together. I express the peace of God. Peace, be still. With these words, Jesus claimed his authority and calmed the stormy waters. Following Jesus' example, I too claim authority. In a stressful moment, I center my awareness in the divine presence that lives within me and expresses through me. This divine presence is perfect life, love, and wisdom. It is peace that nothing and no one can disturb. No matter what may be happening around me, at the center of my being, there is always peace. It is an aspect of my divine inheritance, as near as my next thought. I release all fear and tension and embrace the peace of God. As I do, divine peace radiates from the center of my being. It clarifies my thoughts, calms my emotions, and relaxes my body. In every situation, I am a presence of peace. The passage from the Bible is from the book of Isaiah. Those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you. And now back to Deborah.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your truth and grace. Where there is doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your love. Where there's despair in life, let me bring your hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. Oh, Spirit, grant that I may ever seek to center in my soul as you console me, to be understood as to understand, and say yes to your love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace and reach the true center myself that I become a light of power from your love.
Good morning, Unity Palo Alto, and welcome wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is right now. Know that you are welcome here. It's such a joy for me to be with you here today. This is the first Sunday of February, and February is Black History Month, where we in the United States celebrate the men and women of color who have made great strides in our country. And in 1964, Dr. Martin Luther King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. He accepted this prize on behalf of the civil rights movement. And in honor of Black History Month and in honor of this great man, I would like to read just a few words of his speech, a portion of his speech from accepting the award. After contemplation, I conclude that this award, which I receive on behalf of that movement, is a profound recognition that nonviolence is the answer to the crucial political and moral question of our time. The need for man to overcome oppression and violence without resorting to violence and oppression. Civilization and violence are antithetical concepts. Negroes of the United States, following the people of India, have demonstrated that nonviolence is not sterile passivity, but a powerful moral force which makes for social transformation. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together in peace and thereby transform this pending cosmic elegy into a creative psalm of brotherhood. For this to be achieved, man must evolve for all human conflict a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of such a method is love. And so we breathe into that, breathe into this present moment, and we give thanks. And as we begin February, this is the second month in our year of empowered spiritual living. Now, this month, our theme is a powerful yes. What does that mean? It means saying yes to that transformative power of spirit in our lives. It means saying yes to being open and receptive to inspiration, being open to divine mind and the inspiration that flows, being open to divine love and the harmonizing energy that flows through each one of us. It means saying yes to that spiritual nature that is within us, that idea of the Christ consciousness that lives within every person, that you may call that divine spark, or you may call that higher consciousness. You may call that better me. And it means saying yes to recognizing that spiritual nature in each other, recognizing and knowing our oneness with each other in God. And it's a time of saying yes to spiritual practice. Now, one of the things I love about Unity is that it is very we teach universal spiritual principles that you can find in really all paths that lead to God. And the wonderful thing is that the activity of Unity is that we must practice it. We must put these spiritual principles into practice for them to become real for us to have that experience of spirit in our lives at a deeper level, for us to explore and understand ourselves and our spiritual nature at a deeper level, and for us to bring these spiritual principles and express these spiritual principles so that we can experience greater health, greater wholeness, greater abundance, greater relationships, a greater sense of well-being, a greater sense of inner peace. We need to practice them in the everyday, mundane activities that we do. Bring spiritual practice to it. And when we do that, we open ourselves up to that infinite flow of abundance, that infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom that flows through every person and in all creation. We are opening ourselves up to live in that and to express it and to experience it. And so this month, I'm inviting you to say a powerful yes. Now, I term it as a powerful yes because oftentimes we say, yeah, that's a great principle, I'll practice it. And an hour later, after we're done with service, it's like, what did John say? I don't remember. Let me go back to the daily word. Oh, this is a great principle. I'm going to practice this all day. You know, an hour drive or an hour on a Zoom call, and you've forgotten all about it. So the powerful yes is really saying yes and making a commitment to it. Now, there are some of us, I'm sure that we all have our dreams, right, of life, our vision in life. You might have a set of goals that you're looking for, that you're reaching for, that you're striving for. And sometimes those goals just don't manifest, just don't come about for some reason. We may be trying our hard, right? We may be doing all the things we're told to do. We may have our vision board. We may be saying our affirmations. We might be, saying our affirmative prayers, which may turn into beseeching prayers, which may turn into prayers of panic. We may be doing all the steps that we've been told to do. We may be creating our action plans and running our action plans, and somehow it just doesn't quite work. Raise your hands if you've ever felt that way before about something in your life. I can't see anybody, so a couple people raise their hands besides me. So the question is, if we were putting all this spiritual practice into practice, all these teachings into practice, why aren't they always working for us? What is it about this practice or this goal or this idea that's not quite working out? And we might think of it as, of course we talk in unity and in New Thought, because that's what unity is a part of, that movement called New Thought, that it's all about our thinking, that if we put our thinking in the right frame of mind, that we will achieve and we will march forward and we will do what we need to do. And I believe that's true to an extent. But I think the deeper truth about that principle or about that idea is it's not just our thinking, it's the whole of our consciousness. And sometimes, even though we have this idea that I'm going to become this, or I'm going to experience that, I'm going to get this great job, or I'm going to have this wonderful relationship, I'm going to find the right person, or I'm going to repair a relationship, or I'm going to have, great income. We think all of these things, and we do all of our affirmations, and we cut out little pictures of ourselves on the sailboats, but there's something else that is important to us. And I think the missing key is that there is an energy that lies below our thinking that we are expressing. Now, like most of us, there are times when I get a little frustrated, I get a little angry, or I get a lot angry, whatever the case may be, right? There are times when I feel sorrow, there are times when I feel guilt or shame, there are times when I feel these things. And the challenge is, what am I doing with the feelings? Because all of that energy, from anger, from pride, all the way down through fear, all of those energies are dragging us down. They're non-productive. It sticks us. It keeps us from moving forward. It keeps us from really realizing the potential that we have. And it's our potential that we want to really understand, to get a deeper knowing of. In Unity, of course, I'll talk about we have this infinite potential. I get all, airy-fairy. This infinite potential that you are meant to be this abundant being. But sometimes it's hard to hear and understand, well, what does that really mean, this infinite potential? Because that's a big word. Let's just give it some focus. Let's narrow it down a little bit. Let's take it from the infinite into something that's realistic. Because that's what we manifest in our lives, is something that's less than infinite. And so let's look at how we can look at that energy that's nesting underneath there, that's preventing us from moving forward. Even though we have these lofty goals, that fear is what drives us and keeps us stuck. That fear is the energy with which we're saying our affirmations, as if we don't really believe it. That anger is the energy in which we are talking about words of peace and brotherly and sisterly love. And so the goal here is not to push those feelings away, because that's our normal tendency, right? It's like, okay, I have these feelings, I can't have that feeling. That's what we call spiritual bypassing, right? I'm feeling a little sadness. Nope, I can't feel the sadness, I just have to be happy all the time. We feel a little bit of unsureness about ourselves. Nope, I can't be unsure. We push it away, and I have to be right all the time. I have to be in the lane all the time. And what's interesting is that activity is what keeps us stuck, especially in new thought. Now, I'm taking a class with a book study with Martha Creek, and it's based on the book Letting Go by David Hawkins. And the reason I take these classes, I'm taking a few of them this quarter, the reason I do this is because I believe that there's more. I want to explore more about myself, to dive deeper, to have a greater sense of who that I am and underneath the covers, and to take a look at all of those things that I've bundled up and packaged up and stuffed down, so that I can release it and let it go, so that I can live more into that idea of my potential. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, once said, "With realization of one's own potential and self-confidence in one's ability, one can build a better world." So as we think about this idea that Dr. King told us about, this idea of being equal, that all of us are equal, regardless of the color of our skin, that all of us are equal, regardless of where we live, that each of us should have that same possibility, that same potential. It's important for us to realize and look deep at that side of us that says otherwise for ourselves, and that side of us that says otherwise for other people. Denying the fact that we are one in God. Denying the fact that together as a whole, the whole human race is one in consciousness, and that which we do to another, that's which we do to ourselves. And that's which we do to ourselves, we do to another. It works both ways. And so the beauty of this class, Dr. David Hawkins has an idea called the map of consciousness. And through a great deal of study, I'm going to tell you about a little bit. I've only put half of it on the screen here. Through a great deal of study and a lot of research, he's been able to identify the energy levels and how these work. And I've talked about this in the past. And you don't need to memorize this. I just want to articulate and show a couple of things that I've discovered. So this is the bottom half of the consciousness. How often have you experienced a sense of shame in your life? Every once in a while, I think every human being has a sense of shame. It's part of our culture. It's part of maybe it's the religion that you grew up in telling you that you're a miserable sinner. Maybe it's the parents or your teacher, your second grade teacher who told you you'll never be good at math. Maybe it's something in there, somebody who said something to you that gave you a little bit of shame. Now what we can do, as you see, shame is on the bottom. It's the very lowest in energy. Better check your pulse. Make sure you're still living and breathing. Shame is at the bottom of the barrel there. Now what happens, how many of you have felt this? I feel a sense of shame, and that leads to a sense of guilt. And that leads to a sense of, to heck with it. That may lead to a sense of grief, a sense of loss. That may lead to fear about how I'm going to live my life in the future. Now you notice every step of the way here, we are increasing our energy by suppressing what's down below. Suppressing our shame. And then that fear turns to a desire because, I really want something different in my life. And that may turn to anger because, gosh darn it, these people are preventing me from receiving it, or something is happening in my life. And that may turn to pride. And all of that cycles all the way back down to shame. You can come back to me now. So what I want you to know about that is that what we try to do when we're feeling any one of those things, let's take fear for example, because fear is one of those things that we lump everything together in, right? We say, well, fear has many layers and many flavors. Yeah, it's all the energies down below, or it's the energy of anger, or it's the energy of pride, but I'm not good enough, right? So fear is a good one to work with here, because what we try to do is we try to stuff the fear. And instead of allowing the fear to just be, we stuff it and say, no, I've got to be courageous, which gets us up to that neutrality point, which is good. But instead of trying to think about think about, why am I feeling shame? Why am I feeling guilt? Because all we're doing then is we're now putting the power of our thinking upon that function. And now we're living, because we know from our third principle, the laws held in mind produce after their kind. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. The thoughts that we give great attention to are the thoughts that we live and experience and how we live our world. So the key here is not to give too much thought about it, but just to say, okay, let's breathe into it. I'm feeling a little bit of guilt today. I'm feeling guilt because I said something that, I really didn't mean to say. I reacted in a way I didn't mean to react. So instead of giving that thought and, I'm a terrible person, let me think, well, that person said this and therefore I'm okay. And then we're ramping up to anger now. Instead of doing all of that, just feel, that sense of, okay, there's guilt there. And behind the guilt, there's a sense of shame. Okay, I get it. Just breathe into it. As Dr. Hawkins said, if you can let it just be without the thought about it, that allows the emotion, the energy to express. He likens it to, you've got a barn filled with barn animals, and if you open the doors, the barn animals go out. That's all it is you're opening the doors, allowing that sense of whatever it is that you're feeling that feels negative, that's dragging you down, that's keeping you stuck, allowing it to just be and to dissipate, to breathe into it, to mindfully breathe into it. And then when you're ready, in that space, as the animals have left, you can fill it up with what is opposite of that feeling. So, for example, if you're feeling shame, the opposite may be a sense of self-respect and self-esteem. Sounds like self-love. If you're feeling a sense of guilt, the opposite might be a sense of innocence. And yeah, I did something wrong, but you know what? That's not the truth of me. I'm also an innocent, beautiful being. So I can fill myself with that. If it's apathy, it might be a willingness. If it's grief, it might be comfort or acceptance. If it's fear, it might be courage. It might be self-trust. It might be a sense of you're okay. If it's desire, it might be a sense of contentment. That vision board with that yacht, I'm content with having to rent a ski boat once a year. What are you content with in life? How can that lift you up? If it's feeling anger, it's giving yourself a sense of calm. It's giving yourself a sense of forgiving, self-forgiveness, self-love. It's giving yourself a sense of being relaxed. If it's pride, it's giving your sense of self of being humble, being modest, being okay with who you are in this present moment. Now, all of those feelings, all of those ideas bring us to the idea of love, of self-love, of having enough love to lift yourself up, to say, yes, this is how I'm experiencing this in this present moment. I breathe into it, release it, and then I give myself self-love. And all of those ideas that I read out are things to bring our energy higher, above courage, bring our energy to a sense of willingness, of acceptance, of meaningfulness, of love. So our spiritual practice this week is very simple. It's following His Holiness the Dalai Lama's idea of digging into our sense of self, digging into our sense of, let me just pull the quote back up again. Digging into that realization of our own potential and our own self-confidence and our own ability so that we can show up better and build a better world. A Course in Miracles says that every act of fear is really a call for love. And we can give that to ourselves. So when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling angry, when we're in that Zoom meeting and somebody's wagging their finger at us, feel the tension, feel it, and say, there it is. There's my sense of fear, my sense of guilt, my sense of shame. Breathe into it without any yes, yeah, buts, without any, well, that's because, without any thought. Just breathe into the feeling. And in that space, as that feeling flows, allow that feeling of self-esteem to come in. Allow that feeling of self-love to come in. For as we do that for ourselves, we can then do it for others. We can then see that infinite potential in somebody else, even though they see it as completely defined and stagnant. We can see and be a loving presence, just a listening ear, a deep listener, to hear, to allow things to express and surround them with the energy of love. We can lift them up as we lift ourselves up. But without that reservoir of self-love within us, we can't do justice to other people. Our vision statement, centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all, that is very much in alignment with Dr. King's sentiment of a system that's based on love. Doesn't mean we're going to agree with each other all the time. But if we come from that space of self-love, if we come from that space of wanting to see and hear and express the love to and from another person, then we'll be able to move through our differences, and the whole will be better for it. Our affirmation today is on the screen. I'm going to read it once and then invite you to affirm it with me. And I do this so that you can really let these words sink in, so that you can have them be a part of who you are and say them with feeling and expression. You can even stand up and demand it if you want. Our affirmation: holding a vision of a world transformed by love, I focus on the energy of love within me, and I say yes to this powerful vision and express the energy of love in everything I do. Would you affirm that with me together? Holding a vision of a world transformed by love, I focus on the energy of love within me. I say yes to this powerful vision and express that love in everything I do. And so it is. Amen. And so with a nice deep cleansing breath, I'd like to have you feel that, have you experience that, get you ready for that love to flow into you, regardless of what's happening around you, allowing that sense of love to flow in. Before we go to the meditation, I just want to end with this. In our spiritual uplift this last week, we ended with a quote that Frances gave us. It was a quote that's above her computer, and she read it to us, and I'd like to share it with you. It's an anonymous quote. We don't know who wrote it. But it says, at the end of life, what really matters is not what we bought, but what we build. Not what we got, but what we shared. Not our competence, but our character. Not our success, but our significance. Live a life that matters. Live a life of love. Let's take that into our time of meditation and affirmative prayer. Let's take that into our time of silence. I'll invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or simply soften your gaze and take a nice, deep, cleansing breath. And as we breathe into this present moment, we allow whatever thoughts that came into our mind or into our consciousness to simply drift away. With a nice, deep cleansing breath, we acknowledge whatever emotion is rising within us and just breathe in, allowing it to dissipate. And in its place, Breathe in love. Feel that harmonizing energy flow in through you. Feel it uplifting you. Feel it healing you. Any thought that arises, we just meet it with that love. And with love in our heart, with that love flowing in through and as us, we rest in the silence. With this energy of love flowing through us, we hold a vision of a world transformed by love. We focus our energy of love and say yes to this powerful vision. Everything I do today is infused with love. And for that truth, we are joyfully grateful. We are richly, richly blessed. And we celebrate by singing the Alleluia. And with a nice, deep, cleansing breath, we allow ourselves to return our attention to this space and to this time. Breathing into this present moment, allowing that love to fill us up and flow through us now as we move into a time of affirmative prayer. We now surround all of the prayers in our prayer chest. Anyone who has submitted a prayer request to us, we hold for 30 days in prayer. And if there's somebody who you hold in prayer, I invite you to say their name out loud or bring their name to mind. For all of the prayers in our prayer chest, for all of the prayers that we hold in our hearts, we affirm that divine love is doing its perfect work here and now in each situation. We affirm each person is opening to the inspiration of divine mind, to the inspiration of divine intelligence, and discovering that spiritual magnificence that is within them, enabling them to experience self-love, enabling them to experience a sense of love for others. And with this love in our hearts, we say this same prayer for our world, national, state, and local leaders, seeing them making wise and loving decisions for peace on earth, goodwill, equality, and justice for all people. And for this time together, for this sacred space that we have created across the world, for this expression of this divine love that expresses and shines as each one of you, we are joyfully grateful. We are richly blessed. And we say, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
It is the first Sunday of the month, and we have a special thing that we do with every Sunday, passing Sunday of the month, and the first Sunday of the month is Birthday Day. So we are going to celebrate and call out all of you February babies. If you have a birthday in February, we hold you in our hearts and we send you a happy birthday wish. And in fact, we will sing for you. I'm going to invite Deborah to lead us in singing of happy birthday.
Okay, everybody, you got to sing with me, even though I can't hear you. So here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you, you're wonderful. God is blessing you now. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everyone who has a February birthday.
Happy birthday, everyone who has a February birthday. It's so nice to be here on this day. I have a special announcement on my phone before I get to the love offering, and it's very important. I want you all to hear this. Margot LeDuc is starting up the choir. Yay, virtually. So if you're interested as an adult in being in the choir, you can connect with her, and I'll tell you how in just a moment. Margot LeDuc is starting a kids choir. Now, this is the one that gets me excited. I love all of you adults who sing, but this is the one who gets me excited. So the kids choir is going to begin on March 7th. It's going to be at 12 o'clock, and all of the information and details will be on our website tomorrow because anyway. So, but if you do want more information, you can contact Margot directly. Her email address is voicebymargot, all one word, voicebymargot@yahoo.com. And all of that will be on our website in a day or two. So very excited about that. Very excited to have the choir back. Very excited for our kids to be able to come together and to express their voice. Every kid is welcome. You don't have to be a wonderful singer. Even I would be welcome. That's how good it is. And now we move into our spiritual practice of living in the flow of abundance. Unity Palo Alto is a self-sustaining spiritual center, helping people discover their spiritual magnificence, helping them to live a life of abundance. If you were inspired by today's service, we'd invite you to like, follow, and subscribe on your favorite social media channels. And we'd also like to invite you to give a sense of your well-being through love, through your gift of a love donation, of a love offering. There are many ways in which you can give to our spiritual center, whether it's online through PayPal or writing a check to us. However you are expressing your love, fill it with love. Fill it with that sense of gratitude as you write the check and as you send it. We're so grateful to all of you and for your loving support of our spiritual community. The affirmation that we say is on the screen, and I invite you to affirm it with me now. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I am. And so it is.
Come to you, let my heart be changed, renewed, flowing from the grace that I found in you. Oh, I've come to know the weaknesses I see in me will be stripped away by the power of your love, and hold me close, let your love surround me, bring me near, draw me to your side, and as I wait, I'll rise up like the eagle Your Spirit leads me on in the power of your love. As I unveil my eyes, let me see you face to face, the knowledge of your love as you live in me. God, renew my mind as your will unfolds in my life, in living every day, in the power of your love. And hold me close, let your love surround me and bring me near, draw me to your side. And as I wait, I'll rise up like the eagle, and I will soar with you. Your Spirit leads me on in the power of your love, and I will soar with you. Your Spirit leads me on in the power of your love. Your love.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Rusty. And thank you all for being here today. Don't forget our financial update and spiritual center update is beginning in about 10 minutes or so. So join us for that. And don't forget choir time. Warm up your voices. We're ready for you. And now for our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Love and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you soon.